I want you to close your eyes and imagine the world hundreds of millions of years ago, specifically the plants. What do you see? Alright, who am I kidding? No one's going to close their eyes just because a random VTuber told them to. To be honest, it's probably better for your safety if you don't listen to random VTubers. Instead, you can just look at this nice pretty background I bought with my negative super chat earnings. If you look at any movies taking place in a prehistoric setting or look at artwork in a textbook, you might notice that there's not that many flowers. There might be trees or ferns, but probably not that many flowers. The reason why is because flowers are kind of brand new. I feel like the absence of flowers in, prehistoric imagery is something that we're all kind of aware of in a way, but we don't really sit down and think about it. Were there roses blooming in Jurassic Park or the land before time? Probably not. I'm not gonna sit down and watch them right now, but just go with me here. There's probably at least one or two pieces of media that are a better scientific resource than those movies, but anyways. And even if those movies aren't really good scientific sources, I bet we can contribute at least some of our prehistoric imagery to them. The point of this video is, it's a little weird to think about, but flowers are kind of a new thing on an evolutionary timescale. They've probably been around for about 2.5% of Earth's history. I'm going to take us on a little trip down memory lane. What was the world like before flowers? You know, those things that you buy to give to your crush only to be rejected and humiliated and... I mean, I've never been rejected. I'm really cool and popular and well-liked and... Let's start out about 4 billion years ago, when the building blocks of life were laid. Or maybe I should say the soup of life was laid. You may have heard of a term called primordial soup before. This term gets tossed around a lot, but what does it mean? Well, to keep it simple, it's the theory that about 4 billion years ago, there were various chemicals on Earth and the conditions were just right for these chemicals to begin forming organic compounds, or the compounds that make up life today. This is probably one of the best theories explaining the origins of life right now. Imagine that the oceans were full of alphabet soup and the letters started to form words. As a side note, I think scientists are really obsessed with naming things after food. Maybe this should be a video in the future? Now, let's fast forward to about 2.7 billion years ago. If you took a high school biology class, the word prokaryote might be floating around in the primordial soup that is your brain. Here's a quick recap for anyone who doesn't remember prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Modern plants and animals are made up of cells called eukaryotes. Bacteria are something called prokaryotes. Prokaryotes are single-celled organisms. They don't have organelles, which are something like little organs inside of them, unlike eukaryotes. The whole mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell thing applies to eukaryotes, but not prokaryotes. Anyhow, for quite a while, Earth was basically just oceans, and the first signs of life were beginning to form in these oceans. About 2.7 billion years ago, something resembling an ancient ancestor to plants evolved. It was a type of prokaryote called cyanobacteria, or blue algae. This is a prokaryote that lived in the ocean. Nothing resembling a modern plant or animal yet, but we had something that we can call life, and that's pretty cool. The first oxygen spike was probably thanks to cyanobacteria. Actually, our oceans are still full of this cyanobacteria, and it makes about 50% of our oxygen. Can you say, "Thank you, cyanobacteria"? Say it with me, class. Fast forward to about 2 billion years ago. Eukaryotes, or the guys with organelles inside of them, evolved from prokaryotes. Something resembling modern algae evolved. How thrilling! Depending on if you're a science nerd like me. Although, I will add a crazy theory about eukaryotes. Some researchers believe that the mitochondria was once its own organism that began to live inside of other cells, forming the mitochondria that we know today. To make a bit of an analogy, that's like if you found out that your liver had once been its own animal. Once again, that's a whole other story that maybe I'll make a video about someday. Sorry for constantly derailing myself, it's just like every fun fact in science brings up 20 new fun facts that I feel like I have to explain. 500 million years ago, the atmosphere was doing pretty alright oxygen-wise, and so land plants were able to evolve. They probably looked a bit like moss. A lot of plant things simply did not exist yet. 425 million years ago, some real bangers dropped. Hold on to your trousers for this one. We got vascular plants, aka ferns. These guys had roots that went into the ground and veins that brought water all over the plant. Leaves probably started existing around this time too. Why are plant veins a big deal? Well, if moss or algae dries up, that's that. That's probably the end of their life cycle. Kind of like how most YouTubers' life cycle ends with a cringe apology video. However, even if a leaf browns up and dries off, its stems can remain underground for a long time, letting them come back time and time again, even after a period of drought. 400 million years ago, we got another crazy plot twist. Seeds and seeded plants like trees. Why are seeds important? Well, if a plant's offspring is a spore, that spore must land somewhere and immediately begin life. Being a spore is like being born and then immediately being drafted into war or expected to pay taxes or, become a contributing member of society. However, if you're a seed, you can just land somewhere and then wait until the conditions are right to sprout. Seeds have some nutrients in them already, so they can just chillax for a bit until it's time to grow. Finally, 100 million years ago, which is honestly pretty recent on an evolutionary timescale, we were gifted with angiosperms, aka flowering plants. Haha, the VTuber said sperm. Be mature or else I'll just make an actual video on sperm. Also, we got grass. Technically speaking, grass is a flowering plant. I can't recommend bringing your crush a bundle of grass though, unless they're freaky. Flowers mean sweet smells that attract pollinators such as bees. Flowers also mean fruits, and fruits means animals eating fruit, digesting that fruit for a while, and then dropping those seeds somewhere else, leading to a worldwide domination of fruits. Mwahaha. Next time you look outside, I hope you can just think about how a lot of what you're seeing is pretty much brand new. Evolution is always happening around us, even to you and me, and well, I just think it's really neat. Also, if you've made it this far in the video, hopefully that means that you like me at least a little bit and you like watching my videos, so I wanted to try out a new segment. I want to get to know my specimen members, aka you guys. It's for research purposes, nothing nefarious. So every video I'll ask a question about you guys and you can reply in the comments if you want. Question number 1, what's a fun fact about you? Maybe if any comments are really good, I'll include them in future videos. Thank you for watching today. I hope you learned something cool about science, and I hope if you haven't had a drink in a while, go get some water. Okay, see you next time.